What's up, YouTube? It's finally time for my 117-hour review on my 2024 TYM 2515H. I was going to do a 100-hour review, but I kind of lose track of time. So here we are at 117 hours. I want this to be an unbiased review. I'm not a paid sponsor by TYM. I bought this with my own money. And after 2 months of research, this is the tractor I picked out after starting with green, then looking at orange tractors. Finally landed on this tractor. So if you didn't watch my 25-hour review, I would suggest watching that first. So I just pretty much want to go over everything that I've encountered and everything that I love and not so much love about this tractor, stemming from the 25-hour review till now. But first, I want to get straight to the point that after owning this tractor for 10 months now, I think, and 117 hours, I absolutely love this tractor. I do not regret buying this tractor, and I would absolutely recommend this tractor to anyone looking to get into the tractor world. If you're looking for a big frame, 25 horse, non-emissions tractor with a high lift capacity, I mean, this really is it. But you have to do your due diligence, watch as many videos as you can, read as many Facebook posts as you can, just so you can prepare yourself on sort of the quirks and kinks that you're going to run into with buying one of these tractors. I kind of go over some of that stuff in the 25-hour review, but some of the things you really got to watch out for on these TYMs, or at least these Branson TYMs, is all the loose hardware, loose nuts and bolts. And that's something you should be checking every 25 hours or so. And I think I went over that in my 25-hour review. It's kind of like the first thing you do when you buy this tractor and take it home, is to check everything. I would recommend doing the same thing at the 25-hour mark, 50-hour mark, 75 and 100. I know when I redid it at 100, I had a couple loose nuts and bolts, nothing too crazy, but it's definitely something you have to keep track of. But that's just, knowing is half the battle when it comes to buying, any sort of piece of equipment. But overall, it's been a phenomenal tractor. I've pretty much exclusively have been doing tree work, grappling work, skidding work with this tractor. I just modified my weight box back here to add more weight, as you can see, which it's not a permanent modifications. I'm going to cut that threaded rod down a little bit. I could do a review also on my weight box that I made myself and the additional weight, but right now we're sitting at about 750 pounds. So it works pretty good. But I've exclusively been doing just skidding and tree work with this tractor, and it's been phenomenal. So let's dive into it. After my 25-hour review, I developed a small hydraulic leak that was kind of hard to find at first. I noticed the drips coming from the bottom of the drain plug for the hydraulic system here. And I traced the leak all the way up to, I don't know if you can see in here, this topmost piece. Not gonna focus. There you can see it. This topmost piece of the rear end. And what it actually was there's a silicone gasket from the factory for the 3-point speed drop control. I think the dealership called it the draft valve, whatever they call it. And there's about 1/8 of an inch gap that was leaking hydraulic fluid. And so I shipped her off to the dealer. The dealer repaired it, and they ended up splitting this piece off, regasketing that when the actual leak was with that part of the tractor. So long story short, I went back and forth to the dealership twice, and they regasketed 2 different parts of the hydraulic system. But anyways, long story short, it's fixed. That leak has been resolved. I think it was just, something that someone in the factory missed, and the gasket finally blew out, and it was only like 1/8 of an inch gap that the hydraulic fluid was leaking out of. But regardless, the whole back end of this tractor had to get split apart. But dealership took care of it, no problem whatsoever, even though, it went twice, but whatever. It is what it is. But since then, there has been no, knock on wood, dealership warranty incidents, anything like that. 50-hour service. I didn't really recommend doing the 50-hour service yourself, just so you could really learn your tractor, and you kind of get more of an appreciation for your tractor when you see how everything works and realistically the simplicity of it. And also you can find its weak points. So for example, I'll show you on this side. Right here is all the pedal linkages, and underneath, you can't see it because I made my own skid plate, temporary skid plate. I don't know how well you can see it. I made it out of a mud flap, but a lot of the pedal linkages, the hydraulic lines, obviously the hydraulic filter, the other filter's back there, and the fuel lines are very, very, very exposed on these tractors. So I took a mud flap. It's being held up temporarily with Romex wire. And then I took a old license plate, chopped it up and retrofitted in there, because I did jam a stick in here by accident one day. So that's just one of those things, you know, when you're underneath your tractor doing your 50-hour service, you say, hey, that's probably going to be an issue someday. So that's just one of those things you catch. Oh, another thing is my pedals. I'm right to it. Yeah, they're, oh, of course it's returning, but they're really sticky. There you go. So they've been sticky for, I don't know, past 80 hours or so. And I know one guy on the TYM Facebook page took his pedal linkages apart, drilled and tapped a Zerk fitting and greases them, and that kind of fixed the issue. I don't know, kind of doesn't bother me too much. Another thing I did during my 50-hour service was I put some chafe guard, you know, kind of wrapped my hydraulic lines here, because, was it this bolt? Yeah, this bolt here was chafing through one of the rubber hoses. And so just to wrap them was, you know, a preventative measure that I took. But overall, the 50-hour service was very straightforward. I was fortunate enough to where I didn't have the extremely tight filters that everyone talks about on Facebook and on YouTube. My oil filter and my hydraulic filters were both relatively okay to remove. There is, I can add a link in the description of the video, but there was another guy that did a 50-hour service online, and he used this strap wrench. It's like a filter wrench with like seatbelt material, and it acts like a strap. 10 out of 10 recommend that type of wrench for, and I'll add it in the description, from Amazon, for the hydraulic filters. For the oil filter, I used the plier style oil filter wrench. That worked perfect. But on the hydraulics, that strap wrench worked beautifully. Another thing I'd recommend, and I saw someone else do it on Facebook, was they got 4 of those plastic car ramps you drive your tractor on, and that helps with draining the hydraulic fluid, because it's difficult to fit a bucket underneath this tractor to drain all your hydraulic fluid. So get on level ground with 4 of those car ramps, and now you're at a perfect height to get a 5-gallon bucket or whatever type of tote you decide to use to drain your hydraulic fluid. Other than that, it was very easy, very simple. Front axle was very easy. I mean, there was nothing really difficult about it. It's just, you know, the time and effort to do the 50-hour service. Right after the 50-hour service was complete, my dashboard died. All I did was give it a love tap. The dashboard came back to life. I'm at 117 hours now. That has happened between the 50-hour service and 117 hours, which I'm at now. That happened 3 times. Tapping it fixed it, and then only one time, that was at the 76-hour mark. I wrote it down. The dashboard died, and turning the tractor on and off, tapping it, didn't fix it. And when I turned the tractor off, the hour meter still was lit up. It wasn't counting up, but usually when the tractor's off, it won't display the hours. So the hours were still being displayed. So something was, I don't know, stuck. And I disconnected the battery for 10 seconds, and that fixed that issue. So, I mean, that's it. Those are my complaints on the tractor, which not really complaints, but, you know, electrical quirk, like the dashboard giving out, not giving out, but glitching a little bit. And, you know, the small hydraulic leak that the dealership fixed, no problem. And the loose nuts and bolts. that's really it. It's just been a great tractor. It does what it does, and I have no complaints. And I spent 2 months of researching tractors before buying mine, and I still feel, 10 months later, 117 hours later, that I made the right decision. Absolutely, without a doubt. I mean, the lift capacity is no joke. It's what they say it is. A lot of people prove that on Facebook and on YouTube, doing the work that they do with their 2515s. I mean, this thing's just a beast. I had 2 acres worth of trees and firewood and tree trunks and whatnot on my property that I'm clearing. And I've been loading 15-yard dumpsters and small trailer dumps and whatnot, and this machine just handles it, especially with the counterweight. That's kind of a big deal. You definitely need it. I will say that. So like I said, I'm running around 750 now. I'd like to get to 800. Seems like 800 seems to be the average a lot of people run. I've seen some people all the way up to 1,500 pounds, which, I don't know, that's a lot of weight. But I guess it depends on what kind of loader work you're doing. But, I mean, I don't know what else to say other than it's been a great tractor, without sounding like a sponsor. But, you just got to do your due diligence, check your fluids, grease the machine, and she'll treat you right. I'm not gonna lie, I find it difficult, and I give props to all these YouTubers out there that do things, but I find it difficult just to find the time to make videos and, just showcase the machine. But I mean, there's plenty of information like that, but I figured, let me just add to the pool of information on YouTube and help other people make decisions and just give you my real life experience of actually using this machine. I mean, this machine has worked, and it's worked hard out here. I know its limitations. I come from the construction world of running like actual construction equipment. And so this is not a piece of construction equipment. It's just a tractor. So, you gotta respect those limitations, understand those limitations, because there are people who bend these cylinders, these curl ones. It's like, you can't, I guess on these particular tractors, you can't really backblade or, pull into a pile and, backblade that pile. If it's stone or whatever, you'll end up bending those cylinders, which I guess is a downfall to this tractor as well. But again, it's not a piece of construction equipment. Another thing too is the loader is a little slow. All the loader controls. I don't know if it's my imagination, if it's gotten slower. I don't think it's gotten slower. I think it's just during the week when you run construction equipment, and then on the weekend I run this, and you notice that the loader is considerably slower than pretty much everything else I've ran, but it gets the job done. I mean, I'm not in a rush. First gear is pretty much where this tractor lives. It lives in first gear, especially in this terrain. You can't really do much in second gear. So just know that when you buy a 2515. I know that's one thing a lot of people complain about is it's underpowered, but it's really not. I mean, if you're working in first gear, I've never ran into a situation in first gear where this tractor's underpowered, ever. And I've moved and dragged a lot of heavy trees with no issues in first gear. So keep that in mind. There's always people on the Facebook page too, being concerned about an underpowered 25 horsepower tractor, but this is my only tractor I've ever owned, and I will say that this thing is an absolute beast. So I don't feel that it is underpowered. When I get a chance to, I think I said this in my 25-hour review and I still haven't done it yet, but this grapple has been phenomenal. I would say out of my 117 hours, I would say at least, 110 of those hours have been with this grapple. And for what I paid for this grapple and how well it's performed, it's just unbelievable. I really have nothing bad to say about this grapple whatsoever, but I guess I can save that for another review, and I could put the link on eBay where I purchased it. But very affordable grapple, $9.99. Can't beat that. And it just kills it. Pretty much my 117-hour review of my 2024 TYM 2515H. I hope it wasn't too boring. I know it was just a walk around of my tractor and talking about it. Gives you some insight as to what to expect if you purchase this tractor, whether it's new or used, what you can expect in the first 100 hours or so. Please ask any questions you want in the comments. I'm pretty good at responding to those. So if you have any questions, concerns, or plan on purchasing this tractor and you have any sort of question whatsoever, I'm pretty good with responding. So feel free to drop a question down in the comments. Hopefully this video wasn't too boring, but I figured I'd give you an unbiased review of how I feel about my 2515. So thanks for watching.